Alright, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back. This is Mike or Geekermon. Today, we're going to be looking at the best PvE Prismatic Warlock build in the final shape. The more I play with Prismatic, the more fun I've been having with this build. So if you're looking for a build that has maximum uptime on your abilities, unreal crowd control, and is just overall fun to play with, then this is the build for you. So as you guys know, Prismatic absolutely changed the game. Our new subclass is a blend of light and dark that makes the build crafting options really only limited by your imagination. There are just so many combinations that you can throw together. Today, we're going to be focused around one of my favorite elements in the game, and that is the Lightning Surge melee. So for those of you guys that are new to the game or haven't used it before, you have a regular melee and a charged melee. When you're sprinting, if you melee after a slide, it's going to trigger your charged melee instead. And if you have the proper aspect on, this will result in calling down a lightning storm from the sky. And one of the best parts about it is that with this build, you can proc it all the time. I mean, it's fun in PvP, it's fun in PvE. I mean, you pretty much don't get tired of using this ability. It's the ultimate in Destiny when it comes to space magic. All right, so let's hop in. Let's take a look at the build here. So first I'll show it to you, but then I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about how to maximize it. A couple recommendations I would have to get the most out. Taking a look at the Prismatic Warlock, I want to start with the aspects. Normally you probably start somewhere else, but as I said, we're building around the lightning surges. This is a melee focused build. The most important aspect here is Lightning Surge. While sliding, activate your charged melee to blink forward and call down lightning strikes that jolt targets. There's so many good things about this. It's great for AoE control. It's great for overload champions because you can stun them with it. And even in PvP, the blink makes you much more difficult to kill. But what you want to do is pair that aspect with the other aspect, Feed the Void. Defeating a target with any ability will activate Devour. For those of you in the Destiny 1 days, you remember the Devour Warlocks and how strong they are. Basically, every time you get a kill, you're getting health back. You're getting grenade energy back. The timer on Devour is getting longer. So with the pairing of these two, when you use a Lightning Surge, it will actually proc Devour for you. Beast. All right, let's keep moving on. For this build, I'm not going to spend too much time on your class ability or your movement ability. I've been having a lot of fun with Blink, but that's kind of personal preference. Phoenix Dive and Healing Rift are my recommendation here. All right, let's get to what makes this build special. You're going to want to pair the Arcane Needle with the Lightning Surge. Why? Because this is the only melee ability in the game that will give you 3 charges, allowing you to have 3. That's right. 3 lightning surges available to you at all times. So between the fact this is one of the shortest cooldown melees and you can get up to 3 of them to stack, there is no reason to use any other melee. And as you'll probably notice, we don't actually throw a needle. We just have it on to maximize the surge. I've done it from time to time on accident. It's not great. And then as a storm-focused build, we're also going to be rocking the Storm Grenade. This is one of my favorite grenades in the game. The AoE damage on it, it just helps with ad clear and PvE so much. Threadling's another good option as well. It depends if you're wanting light or dark, trying to fill that prismatic bar. Use whatever you have the least of here. Moving on, let's take a look at the supers real quick. I would recommend Nova Bomb, Song of Flame, or Needle Storm. These are the top tier ones right now. Honestly, with this build, it's not tied to a specific super, so you can use whatever you want. But in PvE, I'm a big fan of the Nova Bomb. It does a ton of damage. Usually, if I'm focused on ad clear with the lightning surges, I'm going to want to balance that with single target damage using my super. All right, so hopping down to the fragments, these are some of the fragments I would recommend for this build. First, I want to hit on the Facet of Dawn. Powered melee hits against targets make you radiant. Powered melee final blows make you and nearby allies radiant. This means that lightning surges will make you radiant. You do take a 10 hit to strength, but honestly, I think it's worth it because you can lightning surge, come out of it with increased damage, and you're even giving your teammates a boost. Second, and kind of a key one for this build, the Facet of Protection. While surrounded by combatants, you're more resistant to incoming damage. 1, this balances out the 10 strength, so you don't actually lose the 10. And 2, this is an aggressive build. You're going to be in the trenches. You're not standing back with a scout rifle trying to snipe opponents. Your survivability is going to be based on how well you can use these lightning surges. You're going to have to get in and punch the enemies in the face. So, of course, that means higher risk, but you're going to want this protection. It'll give you a little more survivability when you're up close. All right, up next, Facet of Blessing. I love this one because melee final blows start health regeneration, while Transcendent melee final blows start health regeneration for you and your allies. So again, your allies are going to be doing more damage and they're going to be healing. Now, I haven't done any calculations on how Devour and Blessing stack with each other as far as the healing goes. So I'll try to find out. I'll leave a pinned comment down below. But as of now, I do believe they work together. All right, next we have Facet of Hope. While you have an elemental buff, your class ability regenerates more quickly. That means if you're Amplified, Radiant, have Restoration, have Devour proc, any of those are going to give you your Healing Rift back more quickly, which is just a nice byproduct of being so aggressive with this build. You can come out of 3 lightning surges in a row and almost guarantee the fact that you'll have your Healing Rift. So Survivability is key. And then last but not least, faceted balance, probably the least important. If you have another one that you love, you could sub it in here. I like this one because of the melee and grenade synergy back and forth. My affinity for the storm grenades kind of leads me to this. But rapidly defeated enemies with light damage will give you your melee back, and darkness damage will give you your grenade back. For me, I've been using the call in PvE, which is darkness, which means I'm leaning more heavily on the grenade energy. But depending on your build and what damage you're doing, the more light damage you can do, the faster you're going to get your melee back. All right, so next I want to hit on the stats, and then we're going to get into the artifact. All right, so naturally when you're looking at the stats, you're going to want to have your strength all the way up. Mine's at 9, but I also want to have 100 recovery. As a warlock, I'm trying to get my health back. I'm trying to have that healing rift up. For me, these are the two most important. The rest can all kind of fall to however you would want. Ideally, I'd have my resilience a little higher than 4. But again, a bit of personal preference when you're build crafting. For me, it goes recovery, strength, then I'd probably go resilience or maybe discipline. Unfortunately, a couple of my armor pieces are high intellect, so you can tell my intellect's at 60. It's not horrible. I just don't need the Nova Bomb that often. For me, I'd rather have the passive traits like my grenades all the time. All right, so that's my recommendation there. Let's jump into the artifact and then we'll go into armor perks. All right, so taking a look at the artifacts, there's a couple things that'll really make your prismatic build stand out. One, I like to rock the elemental charge authorization mod. This thing just makes the cost of elemental charge mods super cheap. We're building around abilities like this. It can't hurt to pay less on your armor. Another one that's good if you're rocking void weapons is elemental siphon. Rapid final blows with a weapon that matches your equipped super will create an elemental pickup for you. Again, I'm rocking Nova Bomb. If you're rocking something different, make sure to pair this with it. Next is radiant orbs with prismatic equipped. Picking up an orb will make you radiant. Every time you slide over an orb, and in PvE that can be quite frequently, you're going to be doing more damage. Now, galvanic armor is nice if you can get amplified. It happens every so often with this build. It's definitely not built around it, but basically reduces the amount of damage that you're going to take. Next is transference. This one's all about being transcendent, so pop it as soon as you get it, and then you get a lot of grenade and melee energy back. The other nice one's the second tier here. Weapon final blows while transcendent refund light and dark energy after it ends. Big fan for just keeping up the pink bar all the time. Now, another one that's nice, but will probably require an exotic class item to really maximize is going to be Shield Crush. If you have Woven Mail, Frost Armor, or Avoid Overshield, your melee recharges much faster and does more damage. Those 3 buffs are not part of this build, so you'd have to have something else or possibly an exotic to tie those in. The one that you'll notice a lot, though, is while you're radiant, your grenade recharges a lot faster. Passively, that can be super nice. All right, so a couple things I like on the helmet. One is Strand Siphon. I've been using the call, and if you haven't, the thing is incredible in PvE. It's a strand, rocket sidearm, and rapid final blows with it will create orbs that you will then slide over, will make you radiant. Oh, it's just clean. The other nice one for this build is hands-on, gain bonus super energy on melee kills. You're going to be getting a lot of melee kills with this build. You might as well capitalize it and get your Nova Bomb back that much quicker. All right, moving to the arms. Again, it's all melee oriented. So we got Font of Vigor. When you pick up an orb, you get an armor charge. When you have an armor charge, you have increased strength. This is all around maximizing that melee ability. You want it up all the time. The other I'm using is melee kickstart. So basically when your melee is fully empty, any armor charge you have is going to get consumed and put into strength. I'm all about it because ultimately my goal is to slide at you with some lightning. Another great option would be heavy-handed. I use this from time to time where a powered melee, so sliding and doing the lightning is going to give you orbs of power. And then last one underrated one, momentum transfer. Causing damage with a grenade reduces your melee cooldown. There's a little bit of a play where storm grenades are usable. They do damage. They give you your melee. This allows you to lean discipline a little more heavily and funnel it back to the melee. It's all about the melee. All right, in the chest mod, there's nothing too direct, but I do like charged up for the increased stacks of armor charge. Emergency reinforcement is nice. So basically when your shields become broken, you get damage reduction. Like I said, you're up in it right here. You're going to be up close. You're going to want to have stuff like that. Another good option would be right here, melee damage resistance. Anyone at point blank won't be doing as much damage. The other good option would be concussive dampener, which is AoE damage. You really have to fit this to your playstyle. All right, one key one, invigoration, very important. You saw where powered melees are generating orbs. We're generating orbs with rapid strand blows. There's orbs everywhere, which is great. You want to reduce melee cooldown every time you pick up one of those orbs, so put on invigoration. Another is elemental charge. Got the discount on the elemental, so if we're using the strand weapon, we create a tangle upon kill. If you destroy that tangle, you get an armor charge from time to time. Passive, but nice to have. Another great one is strand weapon surge. The call is already incredible, but if you have an armor charge, the call is doing even more damage. It just pairs so well. Use whatever kind of weapon you're maining. Use the surge. Light, dark, doesn't matter. They got options for all of them. All right, so a couple more that are just helpful. You guys know these. Distribution reduces all ability cooldowns when you use your class ability. Basically, when you pop your healing rift, everything comes up just a little bit. Another one to double down with it is outreach, reduces melee cooldown specifically. Big fan of both of these. Like I said, this entire build is just get that melee back and use it. So that's it for the build. I hope you guys found this guide helpful. I've been messing with so many different builds with Prismatic. I'm probably going to make some more videos for you guys soon, but hopefully you enjoy the lightning surge focused one. Leave me a comment, let me know what you would change or what you would do to improve this build. Don't forget, if you're new, take just a second, subscribe for more Final Shape content, and I will catch you guys in tomorrow's episode. Thanks for watching. Peace.